I think Toshi could hypothetically become such a big narrative during this bull run, and reaching the price of 2 cents, that really wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And even though nothing I say is financial advice nor a guarantee, the way I view it is that a high tide raises all ships. What do I mean by this? As we all know, Toshi, it's a meme coin on the base network. And I think it's only fair to assume that the base network is going to be the next big layer 2 that really pops off. We saw something like Optimism, Arbitrum, Immutable, Miria. They gain a lot of attention. Now, when it comes to the base network, I don't see why the narrative won't be massive for it during this bull run, because after all, it is Coinbase's layer 2 network. And keep in mind, again, Coinbase, it's absolutely massive, one of the biggest exchanges out there. And the crazy thing is this, the base network, it's actually built in collaboration with Optimism. So that's insane right there. Optimism, again, one of the most popular Ethereum layer 2s out there. This is an amazing place to be. Not to mention Toshi, it's on the base network. So take that into consideration again. We've seen this happen throughout history. Cardano popped off, so did SNEC, a meme coin on Cardano. Take a look at Ethereum popping off. Many meme coins on Ethereum did pop off. Also, take a look at Solana. Dog with Hat, Book a Meme, they popped off. They went along with the ride. So I think that once the base network really pops off, guess who's going to go along with the ride? Again, Toshi, I think, is going to be one of them because it is a very special meme coin. I get it. People often consider Brett as being the number 1 meme coin on the base network. And I would argue that, yes, it is actually in terms of community, in terms of exposure, in terms of just the overall hype and fans. I agree with that. But it's only fair to assume that something like Toshi could very well be the next, if not better, when it comes to Brett. Because again, it is very unique in my opinion. It has a very cool origin, not to mention, it's named after Brian Armstrong's cat. Take a look at Brian Armstrong, who is the co-founder of Coinbase. It's only fair to assume that it is named after his cat because again, after all, Toshi is on the base network, which is Coinbase's layer 2 network. So yeah, you get the relation there. Not to mention, you take a look at Toshi, the name is very similar to Satoshi Nakamoto. Again, we all know that. Allegedly the creator of Bitcoin. So I think this right here just has a very unique vibe. Now, some people may argue that, okay, the base network, it's cool and all, but it's not going to have a good purpose. Well, I disagree. A layer 2 by nature, what it does, at least in this case, is that it allows Ethereum to be enjoyed while at the same time not necessarily having to deal with like the sky-high gas fees or scalability issues. And as we all know, Ethereum, despite again its CACA drawbacks, there are Ethereum layer 2s to combat that. And not to mention, its adoption is going to continue to increase. So I think it's going to create this domino effect. Ethereum is going to gain adoption in a massive way. It already has, but I think it's going to get better. I think that the base network is going to follow because, of course, it is an Ethereum layer 2. Now, what's going to also go along with the ride as a result of that? It's going to be Toshi, hypothetically. So this is why I think Toshi could be very well one of the next big meme coins, maybe, but only time will tell. Now, some people may argue that, oh yeah, reaching the price of 2 cents is crazy and all this type of nonsense, but I disagree. If it were to go to the price of 2 cents, I get it. It is over a 120x from here, so people may think that's a little bit ridiculous. But consider how the market cap for Toshi is actually very low. It's below $80 million, so it's still, relatively speaking, somewhat a small meme coin in the grand scheme of things. And keep in mind, reaching the price of 2 cents, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $8 billion. So it's not too bad. Well, you've seen Dogecoin reach over 80 billion. We've also seen SHIB reach around 40 billion, or should I say Shiba Inu. So I don't think this is too crazy. And also take into consideration that even according to Charles Hoskinson, who not only is the co-founder of Ethereum, but also the founder of Cardano, he does predict that in the next 1 or 2 years, based on a video that he was part of on November, he did state how, again, in that time frame, he could very well see Bitcoin reaching either $250,000 all the way up to $500,000. So could you imagine that? Now, I think $500,000 for Bitcoin during this bull run is a little bit too much, but let's say it goes to 250,000. I think even at that point, 2 cents may seem a little bit bearish for Toshi. Because again, if Bitcoin does that well, I think it's only fair to assume that altcoins and also meme coins, much like Toshi, they are going to go along with the ride in such a massive way. So I don't think this is too crazy. When it comes to Toshi, I think better days are ahead. And again, that's why I'm still staying patient. I'm continuing to accumulate, hold, and I just wait. That's it, because I am not a day trader. I'm not using leverage. I'm not swing trading. This is not what I do. People also on the flip side may think that, oh yeah, Toshi's not going to get there because take a look at, for instance, something called TOSHI tools. Now, this right here is very interesting because if you take a look at TOSHI tools, quite essentially, this will help guide someone towards their journey when it comes to building on Base. And the tools include a multi-sender, token locker, liquidity locker, and token launcher. And also, not to mention, even a launchpad too. So some people may think that, oh yeah, when it comes to this, adoption isn't going to be the best, but who really cares? Because it is a meme coin after all, so it's a good feature to have nonetheless. If they didn't have this, would I care anyways? No. I'd still be bullish on Toshi regardless, but it's just a good addition. Not to mention, when it comes to Toshi, there's something called Toshi Mart, which allegedly allows everyone to create their own meme coin without any technical knowledge. So it's basically a meme coin launchpad. Again, it's not super necessary, hashtag Jorge Masvidal, to have this, but it's a good addition nonetheless, in my opinion, when it comes to Toshi. It's kind of like wearing jewelry. Like, people don't need that to live, right? Hypothetically, you know what I mean? Like, no one can eat that. Like, at least that's just the way I view it. Let's say I was stuck in an island. Could I eat like a gold chain? I mean, how can I do that? But even besides that point, people sometimes use jewelry, even though I don't like to use jewelry because I don't see the point. But some people do use that for a feel-good factor, So again, this isn't necessary, like Toshi Mart, Toshi tools, like who really cares really in the grand scheme of things, but it is a good addition nonetheless. It's like, for instance, I got a 34 on my ACT. Some people would consider that a very good score, but to me, it's irrelevant to my life. Also, another example, when I was in second grade, I was already so good at building Legos. Like, literally, you could get the most difficult Lego set. I could build it back then. I remember everyone, in my neighborhood, my neighbors, they would always say, yeah, build this Lego set, all this type of stuff. I could do it so amazingly. I can still even do it right now. But is it relevant to my life? Absolutely not. I'm good at math. You tell me to do calculus 1, 2, and 3, I could do it so easily. People like to say, oh, Calc 2, right? Calculus 2, it's so difficult. I could get at least 95% in my opinion right now, not even studying. That's just the way I do it. But again, it's not relevant to my life. Like, I'm not using that type of stuff, to be honest, right? So for what? But it's a good accessory to have, I guess, much like this. That's just my opinion. But even besides that point, I think the next 6 months to year, things could be so different. And it's just a waiting game because hypothetically, we've seen that historically speaking, altcoins, they've been known to peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event as a worst case scenario. That would actually mean around October of 2025 because the last Bitcoin halving event happened back in April. And of course, 18 months from then is October of 2025, around that time. So we could very well see, in the very near future, something like Toshi having such a massive hypothetical run. Now, there has been a pretty big pullback. Some people think the price action is caca, but I think it's a waiting game at this point. I'm still staying patient. I'm waiting for better days ahead. And again, Toshi at the price of 2 cents during this bull run really wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's Bunny the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.